Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Yankee Stadium.
They win the final game 5-2 to remain the baseball champions of the world. The Yankees, with this 9-0 crusher, have won their 17th World Series. The Yankees again are world champions. The Yankees win their 21st World Series.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. Ball game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time.
Welcome back, Yankee fans. This is episode number 57 of the Chase for 28 podcast. I am Chris, and I am joined by the Podcast Padre here in the off-season. What's going on, Pop?
Not much. Waiting for the winter meetings. Let something happen. It's getting boring around here.
It is boring. So we were, well, I forget in episode 56 which one of us thought that Judge might sign before Thanksgiving. Was that either of us, or did we agree that he would not be signed by Thanksgiving?
Well, if we thought he was going to sign and we're wrong, it was your idea.
Oh, okay. But if we said not, then that was what you said. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I hope he decides soon so other things can happen.
Well, I had heard that, over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend that he was obviously, quote unquote, home in California, in San Francisco, and that there was going to be meetings that took place between Aaron Judge and Judge's camp and the Giants. But I didn't hear anything about any meetings actually taking place or any type of offer on the table. Had you heard anything?
Didn't hear any offer. The only thing I remember seeing was that the Giants brought in, it was either Steph Curry or they brought in Steph Curry's camp, which I don't know what that means. I guess Steph Curry obviously is big out there. He runs things. He's probably got his foundation and whatnot that he runs. So maybe they brought him in to talk to Judge about, here's what I do. Here's what you can do out here. And, things are possible. Trying to appeal to Judge's benevolency. I don't know.
I had heard, did you hear the offer that is potentially out there from the Yankees to him? What the offer is that's on the table?
Yeah. What was it? 8 years, $300 million?
8 years, $300 million. What are your thoughts on that?
That's $37.5 million a year. It's a lot of change.
That is a lot of money. And 8 years takes him to 2030.
Takes him to 2030, takes him to the age of 38. And again, it's just a case of health. What kind of player is he going to be? You don't know. You don't know. There are guys who sign long contracts and, they're fine all the way through. And then there's guys that break down. You just don't know. You can't go by the assumption that, oh, look, some people say he's 6'7", and, somebody that big, they're going to break down and whatnot. Depends on, I don't know, what was the makeup of his mother and father? What kind of genealogy does he have? You don't know. It's a crapshoot. Anytime you sign somebody to an 8-year contract, I don't care what age they are, how are they going to be in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? In year 7, is he going to hit 60 home runs? I doubt it.
Right. I mean, a contract of 8 years, even for somebody of his talent and caliber player, odds are years 7 and 8 are going to look bad based on how much he's making and how old he's going to be. Especially if he's doing this, if he's playing baseball the right way, and there's no reason to think he's not. Steroids. So his body should break down kind of normally, right? So if he, how many successful 38-year-olds are there performing at a high level?
LeBron James.
Well, is he really performing at a high level at this point still?
No, I think he just kind of turns it on when he wants and whatnot. But when you think about it, running up and down a basketball court, doing what they do, I think it's a little more exertion than what a baseball player goes through.
That's true.
Hardest a baseball player runs is when he's going for a double.
That's true. Not a lot of triples.
Nope.
And most triples, you're kind of cruising into third base. So I get you.
But it's a crapshoot. You're paying for him. Let's put it to you this way. If you surround him with talent, like, okay, if I pitch around him, oh, now look who I have to face. There's other people. I don't want to face them, so I got to take some kind of chances with Judge. There's got to be talent there. This year, what was there? There was nobody who was tearing the cover off to say, oh, let me pitch to Judge because I don't want to be pitching to this guy after him. The lineup was, it was a mystery every day. Gleyber Torres batted all over the place. Then LeMahieu was out. The lineup just wasn't put together with any consistency near the end because of injuries.
Yeah, and really the only it's like who's behind him to protect him, but he was the protection for whoever was in front of him, or who was ever hitting ahead of him, right?
Yeah,
but what did they do?
I want protection for my 8 and 9 hitter.
Yeah, right.
I'm pitching to them. I don't care if God put a bat in his hand. I'm pitching to them.
So I mean, 8 years, $300 million. I mean, the Yankees can't get outbid. If he's going to leave the Yankees, it's got to be for sentimental reasons, wanting to go home to San Francisco, and, he's going to have to leave. The Yankees have to put him in a position to leave money on the table.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only reason he leaves the Yankees is because he just wants to be playing in San Francisco near where he grew up. If he wants... They quote him in an article saying, I want to be on a team that guarantees that they're going to be in it every year. They're always going to be trying. There's never going to be, we're going to be rebuilding this year, so, wherever we end up, we end up. He wants to be on a team that competes. And I pretty much think the Yankees give him that guarantee. They're always going to want to compete. You look at the Giants, what was it? They said 2 years ago, they won, 107 games?
Yep.
And then this year they ended up 81 and 81. Now, stuff happens, but that's a big drop off.
Yes.
What are you going to go and get to maintain, that high level of competition? I have to think hard to try to remember, when did the Yankees ever really compete and then the next year fall off the face of the earth? You got to go back to I think 1966.
Right.
But ever since then, there's always been competition. Maybe not division winners, but we made the playoffs. And basically, like they say with the lottery, you got to be in it to win it. You make the playoffs, you're in it to win it. You got a shot.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast this week, and they were talking about the Yankees, and the host made the point of talking about how even in the 1980s and in the early 90s, right, there were a couple of good Yankee teams in there that if the playoff structure was different and it wasn't just like East and West, the Yankees would have made the playoffs a couple of times in the 80s if there was that expanded playoff field.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing I had heard about Judge and talking about, how he fits with the Yankees and, what type of legacy does he want to create for himself? Would he be the kind of player that, let's say he leaves, does he join the list of guys who are on the Yankees who didn't win, but, played great while they were here, and then they're gone, and then the Yankees do things now that they're gone? Think of some of the Yankees you've seen who, Mattingly comes to mind, right?
Yep.
He had his whole career, just had that playoff in 95, didn't win it, wasn't a part of that late 90s run. He came back as a coach and a bench coach in the early 2000s, and he had missed, he was always on the Yankees when they didn't do anything. And then when he left, then they did, or a guy like Mike Stanley in the early 90s. On the team, off the team. And when he was on the team was like 93, 94, 95. He wasn't on the team in 96. He was back on the team in 1997.
Now you actually just made me very sad.
Uh-oh.
When you mentioned Mattingly. I know there's a chance now he's up for the Hall of Fame, but did you see? He's now going to be a coach for the Toronto Blue Jays.
I saw that after I had also seen an article that maybe Yes was considering getting him and Jeter to be a part of some Yankee broadcast this season.
Oh, I knew that wasn't happening. You're not talking about personalities, although they might make, I don't want to put a knock, they might both be better than Beltran. That's what I want to see. Is that the big talk of tonight? Is he still going to be a Yankee broadcaster?
He better not be. Goodbye.
Oh, he was terrible.
Horrendous. But then also, when you think of, let's talk Mattingly for a second. With the Yankees, leaves the Yankees, they win some World Series, comes back as a coach, they don't do anything, he leaves, you get 2009, right? Where does he then go? He becomes the bench coach of the Dodgers, becomes the manager of the Dodgers. And after he was involved with the Dodgers, winning a lot of divisions, pennants, and ultimately they have, a World Series under their belt, right? So really what we're looking at is here, watch out for the Miami Marlins in the next 5 years to win a World Series now that Mattingly's not with the team.
Yeah. Well, at least he left of his own accord. It's not like he was, as far as we know, he wasn't fired. He just left on his own. And that's that. They had new ownership and whatnot. After, Jeter left, they had new people running it down there. Maybe he didn't like what he saw. So
probably,
Good thing is he's still in baseball. He's still involved.
Yes. And I saw some video of him doing something at home and he is still jacked. He was doing something like shooting like Nerf basketball in his house or something. And the biceps on him. Wow.
Yeah. The man's, him and I are almost the same age. So I don't know why that surprises you.
How old is Mattingly? Mattingly is,
I'm going to say 65, 66.
Mattingly is 61. Wow. He was born in 61.
There you go. So he's a little younger than me.
Just a little. But it sign Judge, does he want to be the Yankee captain? Because that's got to be on the table. So put the money in the bank and put the C on his chest.
Well, I think that happens. He signs, he's the captain.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked if they didn't name him captain. Which
is kind of weird to say and think.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting to be that old guy who's like, Derek Jeter is the captain. Like, can I picture another captain?
See now.
You're going to give it to, go ahead.
Your generation and whatnot. Yeah. Derek Jeter, the captain. You got listeners out there a little older. I'm sorry. The captain is Thurman Munson.
I'm going to say this out loud.
Uh-oh.
How do you compare? Is it a fair comparison? Is it an equal comparison to compare Thurman Munson and Derek Jeter and their captaincy and their careers and what they accomplished?
Well, I know what Thurman Munson was like as a player, and I'll put it to you this way. If Thurman Munson and Derek Jeter were on the same team at the same time, they would have loved each other. Because you think of Jeter, I'm going to play hurt. Don't take me out of the game. I'm giving it my all. Get away from me. I got a job to go do. That was Thurman Munson. That man, he was a catcher. He got hit with bats, balls. He was crawling on his knees. Don't take me out. I'm playing. I don't remember the exact quote, but when Cincinnati beat the Yankees 4-0 in the 76 World Series, there was a quote from Sparky Anderson about, gee, that catcher over there on that other team, he's really good. That wasn't the quote, but it was something to that, like, hey, that Munson guy, he's good.
Because that was his rookie year or early in his career?
No. Munson came up in 69.
Okay.
68, 69. So then 76 was the World Series that they lost. Then they won in 77 and 78. And then 79, that's when he was in the plane crash. I think he was 32 years old, I think.
Okay.
So now that we mentioned him, I told you I had a trivia question. So maybe it's just give the trivia question and the answer.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you read go ahead. You say what the question is.
Okay. So Aaron Judge was recently awarded the 2022 AL MVP award. And our question is, who is the other Yankee besides Judge to win both the Rookie of the Year and the MVP award in their Yankee career?
And the answer is the original captain, Thurman Munson. Rookie of the Year and MVP in 76.
And he passed in 79?
Yeah, I think it was the plane crash was like in August of 79. Yeah.
So you figure, okay, how long do you think his career would have spanned into the 80s?
I believe he was 32.
So maybe he could have got to like 83, 84?
I'd say, he was a hard-nosed catcher. 32, give him maybe another 4 or 5 years.
Do you think he would have finished his career as a catcher, or would he have gone to first base?
No, because then there would have been a guy named Don Mattingly.
Well, so
he might have like started to do catching and first base. He might have gone that way,
and that could have impacted Mattingly's career and development.
Well, I remember a game where Mattingly, being left-handed, actually went and played third base.
I believe he was also wearing the number 46 when that happened.
Yep. Gee, a lefty playing third base, and you looked at him, and he was ground balls, turning, making the throws. Like, gee, a left-hander could play third base. Look at this.
Hey, in my short coaching career at a variety of levels, I never hesitate to put a left-hander at third base. As long as you can catch a ground ball, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you got the footwork to position yourself. Go right ahead, which is the same. Why is there, your mother asked me this, how come there's no left-handed catchers?
Huh.
She asked me that. I looked at her, and I was like, you would think maybe because the majority of batters are right-handed and you're in the way of me if I'm throwing lefty, but what happens with a righty catcher when a lefty batter's up?
Well, as you say that, I'm over on Uncle Google.
Okay.
And the headline is The Player Who No Longer Exists in the Majors. This is from February of 2021. And let's see. It's baseball. It's in baseball's unwritten rule book. You don't put a left-handed thrower at catcher. We've seen unwritten rules challenged quite a bit in recent years. Attitudes are evolving on swinging on 3-0 pitches with a lead, on bat flipping, blah, 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 blah. Come on, get to the point. Oh, sure. No, you know what? This is a really horrendously written article. I don't know why. Left-handed throws to second base are adversely affected by right-handed hitters.
Wait, what about a righty throwing with a left-handed batter?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, this makes no sense.
I'll include a link, and if anybody's curious, you can go read the article.
Oh, well. Okay, so the other question I bring up, I've been wondering the past week because I haven't really seen any articles on it. Maybe you have. I wonder, okay, Yankees sign Judge.
Okay.
Gets his $37.5 million. Okay, we get that out of the way. Maybe winter meetings within the next 3-4 days.
Yes, December 4th through the 7th.
Okay, now we got him. He's under contract. Now what are we doing? Because we're not done.
What are we doing, or what do we want to see them do? That's two different questions.
Yeah. And then again, there's the other question. Okay, he goes and he signs with San Francisco. Now what do we do? Who are we going and get? Because let's face it, with that $37.5 million we just saved, we could probably go get 2 or 3 guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there, and I might even be teetering on that line of, could you build a better Yankee team if you don't sign him? Could you, do you increase your chances of building a World Series contender without signing Aaron Judge for the next 8 years?
Well, start thinking of who could you go get now? So, okay, let's say Judge is gone. The free agents that are out there, who do you go get? Do you go get one of the shortstops? And if you do, which one do you want?
Let's see. So the shortstops that are available are Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson, Elvis Andrus. Those are really only names of note.
All right. Correa is never going to wear a Yankee uniform. That ain't happening.
Okay. I don't know that you need to go out and sign a big shortstop.
I know. We got the kids.
Got the kids.
So let's say, like we said earlier, Steinbrenner, I want the kids to have a chance.
Right.
Okay. We give them a chance. I don't see any reason why the 2 of them can't make the team. One plays shortstop. The other one plays second or third, which means, gee, now do we make a trade, for Torres? There's a lot of moves that could be made. But, okay, let's say one of them plays shortstop.
Okay.
Okay, and I still just saved this $37.5 million. Who am I going to get? I trade Torres. Who do I get for Torres? Do I keep Torres? LeMahieu goes back to, I think, the way it was spoken like last year. Okay, we got the infield, and LeMahieu is going to become again. You're going to play first. You're going to play second. You're going to play third. You're going to play all around the way we originally thought you'd be.
Yeah.
You trade Torres. Depends on who you trade him for. LeMahieu is now your everyday second baseman. So again, who do you go get? You got Bader in center. I still say you need 2 outfielders. I don't think you could be counting on Hicks. If you still got Hicks, he's got to be like the 4th outfielder.
Well, you got Benintendi, who they could potentially sign.
Right. You could go get Benintendi. So now you got a left fielder. Now we need a right fielder. So,
right fielders that are free agents. I mean, obviously, so we're not saying Judge. You got Mitch Henninger, Will Myers, Michael Conforto is out there. If I look at left fielders who could potentially go play right field, Jacques Peterson, who else? Nimmo is out there. There's not a lot of good names out there that are free agents.
Yeah, there's no name that you just said that, is making me jump out of my chair like, oh, yeah, that's the guy I think they should go get. Which goes back to, okay, you lost Judge. Can you put a better team on the field?
I guess the answer is no.
I'd like to see an improvement in catcher. I mean, everybody thought in spring training, oh, look, we got 2 good guys. It's going to, be a good thing here. And Higashioka didn't wake up till the last month and a half. Spring training, he hit 8 home runs. Then, the season started. That's right. I strike out now.
Yeah. I mean, the only free agent catcher of note out there, I would say, is Wilson Contreras, who's 31.
They're not going to get it.
There's a younger guy available, Gary Sanchez.
Now, isn't that what everybody's waiting to see? Former Yankees that are now a free agent. Who's going to sign them? 1, Gary Sanchez. 2, Aroldis Chapman.
Oh,
Aren't
I think
you
Chapman.
just like on the that?
Okay.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to see who signs them too.
I'd say out of the 2, I mean, it would kind of be funny if Gary Sanchez is a free agent. I mean, at this point, it's somebody who's going to take a flyer on him, like the Pirates.
He's got to be like, I want a 1-year contract so I can prove myself. What, that you could bat 202?
Yeah, right. Like I could see like Chapman going to like San Diego, like a team that feels like they're like 1 arm away kind of thing, But he's not a Yankee anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't care where he goes, because I mean, maybe he regains his confidence, but I think the past 2 years he just lost all his confidence. He could have one guy come up and throw 3 beautiful strikes and strike him out. Then the next guy comes up, he throws one in the dirt over the guy's head, and that's it. He's lost it for the next 5 batters.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is an opportunity to obviously bulk up the starting rotation. That would be nice.
Yeah, because as I've seen in articles, Montas,
yeah.
Montas, yeah, I mean, they're like, okay, he should be resting his shoulder. He should come back. He should be good. But until we see something, we look at it and go like, gee, the Yankees lost on that trade.
Yeah. I mean, notable arms that are out there. I mean, I'm not interested in Carlos Rodon. Clayton Kershaw is not going to leave the Dodgers.
No, I think he signed for the Dodgers. I think he signed.
I mean, I wouldn't sign Jacob deGrom.
No.
Evaldi's out there. Bassett, Verlander's out there. There's talk that maybe it's New York or LA, or maybe he's just playing those 2 towns to get the most out of Houston.
Well, what was it? Verlander wants 3 years, and he wants like Scherzer money.
He's 40 years old. I'm not paying him for 3 years.
I mean, he took a gamble. He signed the 1-year contract, $25 million. Prove yourself. Okay, I proved myself. Like Judge, I won the Cy Young.
Yeah,
but again, he's 10 years older than Judge. I mean, I don't know how much does a 40-year-old. The last 40-year-old pitcher that I remember that had something left in the tank that was able to keep going a little bit was Nolan Ryan, who's in his 60s now, and they say he still goes out and throws.
Yeah. Sean Manaea's out there. There's not a lot of good names out here. I mean, there's names I would have liked to have had 10 years ago, but I'm not interested in them now.
Oh, did you hear the bad news?
What's the bad
The
news?
Yankees have lost one of their pitchers.
Who?
Castro.
Oh, where did Miguel go?
I forgot who he signed with, but I saw it earlier tonight. I was looking and said he signed with somebody. Maybe San Diego.
Hold on. I'm looking at a list. Maybe his name doesn't even show up on here. Let's see. Miguel. Who did he sign with? The Diamondbacks.
Diamondback.
Okay.
Have fun out there.
To a veteran, to a 1-year deal.
All right. Oh, bring the other name. All right. The pitcher. Miami, that guy Pablo Lopez that they keep talking about for Torres, some kind of package. You want him?
Let's see. Let's go to his little player page on baseballreference.com. Let's see. He is 26 years old. His birthday's in March, so he'll turn 27 in March. Let's see. He was 10-10 last year, 3.75, 32 games, 32 starts, 180 innings pitched, 174 strikeouts. Sure, why not? Get him in his prime, whereas he's entering his prime.
You trade Torres for him?
Why not? Go ahead, trade him.
Okay.
Trade Torres and Donaldson. What was that other little plan you heard? How could we get the Miami Marlins to take Josh Donaldson from us?
Oh, yes. I didn't realize when I saw it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that. When we got Stanton, Miami has to pay the Yankees $30 million every year. So here, take Josh Donaldson, and you don't have to give us $30 million this year. Then there's our infield. We got LeMahieu at third, the 2 kids, short and second. Change the position every day. One day you play short, then you play second. Just switching back and forth. Put Rizzo at first. There you go. There's the infield.
Yeah, that's actually from, what's this website? From Pinstripe Alley, where somebody wrote in, can the Yankees trade Donaldson to the Marlins in exchange for wiping the $30 million owed to the Yankees for Stanton.
There you go.
They have less than $50 million in salary for next year and probably won't contend for a title. However, it might be nice to have an extra $10 million to spend in 2026, 2027, and 2028. And the response was, theoretically, the Marlins could do this, but what would be the benefit for them? So the only thing the Marlins would be doing
forever
is
grateful. That's what the benefit would be.
The only thing the Marlins would be doing is paying upfront and letting the Yankees space out the money they owe Donaldson to a timeline well in the distance.
All right. There's some kid down on the farm. We'll throw him in.
Yeah.
Oh, see, and then you do that. Then you put a newfound bat, Cabrera in right, Bader in center, Benintendi in left. Play ball, start the season.
Let's go. Did you know we're like 85 days away or 84 days away from spring training?
Baby. Oh, good news. Did you see, what's his face? Michael King is throwing already.
That's good.
That's good.
How far is he throwing? How many feet? 5, 10?
I don't care. He's throwing.
There you go.
And I told you, the last time I talked to you, for Bring Your Father to Work Day.
Oh, yeah. This was good. This was good.
Yeah. Trevino went with his kid to school, all dressed up in his catcher's gear. He had the eye black on and everything.
What a great day that must have been.
Oh, yeah. Kids must have been excited.
I wonder who was more proud, Jose himself or his son.
Probably was a toss-up.
Let's put it this way. It probably didn't compare to me going into my son's classroom with podcast equipment, which I recently did. Not the same thing.
You should.
Although I could have done it dressed up as a Yankee too. I've got a Yankee jersey and pinstripe pants myself.
You should have walked in and said you were Brett Gardner.
I appreciate that weird compliment.
Wait do you see him come back this year as a coach?
Oh my God.
He'd be a good coach.
I think
I'll put him in the
like,
minor leagues though. I don't put him on the major league team because people will be yelling, give him a glove, put him out there. No.
Yeah. No.
Because now he's 40.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's not do that.
It is what it is.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm hoping that within the next 4 days, we come up with an emergency podcast about Judge made his decision.
Yes, that would be good. So if anything happens this week, we will certainly come on with our thoughts in a bonus episode of the show. Otherwise, as we enter the month of December, let's see, we're recording this on Friday, December 2nd. We would look to come back for sure in a couple of weeks around December 16th. And we'll see what's out there. We'll see what's going on the hot stove in Yankee land in Major League Baseball. And we'll see how the Yankees continue to prepare for the 2023 campaign. All right. We did the trivia. All right. If you have opinions and thoughts, we want to hear from you. Send us an email, feedback@chasefor28.com. You can also connect with the show on Twitter. We are at chasefor28pod. And we want to thank you for listening to this, the 57th episode of the show. If you want to send us a voicemail, you can do that by going to chasefor28.com/voicemail. And there's a couple of ways you can support the program. You can first and foremost tell a fellow Yankee fan about the show, help them get involved, show them how to subscribe. We would love to expand our audience. You could also become a legend. You can visit chasefor28.com/legend. And you could also grab some Chase for 28 merch. Go to chasefor28.com/merch. Pick up yourself up a Chase for 28 t-shirt, maybe a Darth Vader shirt, the Derek Jeter Cooperstown shirts flying off the shelves. We sell a couple of those every now and again. And the Mariano Rivera t-shirt we have out there. We love our history, for sure.
Don't forget, you still got Nobody Beats the Riz.
Yes, the most popular shirt we've done here on the program, the Nobody Beats the Riz shirt. Also, shout out to SeatGeek. If you're looking for tickets to concerts or athletic events over the winter, use the SeatGeek app and use our promo code CHASE428 at checkout, and you can get $20 off your first purchase, and you help out the show. I'm Chris. That's the Podcast Padre, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Go Yankees. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.